Hey, you messy bitches. So, Kitara is coming out of the closet after 18 years. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michael. Happy birthday to you.
Welcome back to What Was That? I'm Gabe Sanchez. The disgraced and expelled George Santos is so desperate for attention and money that he is now selling cameos as his drag queen persona, Kitara Ravache. So I guess here's another edition of Who the F is George Santos? Now, if you ever wondered how George Anthony Zabrowski DeVolder Santos' life has been going since he was expelled, look no further than the tweet that announced his latest attempt at making money. Y'all aren't ready for this drop. I've decided to bring Kitara out of the closet after 18 years. For a limited time and with 20% of the proceeds going to @Tunnel2Towers and @The Fellowship, book your Kitara at Cameo on the link below. There is absolutely no way that the dog scamming and identity stealing grifter is going to give 20% of the proceeds to anyone but himself. This is the same guy who stole checks from an elderly man in Brazil, stole money from a veteran's dying dog, and was charged with stealing puppies from Amish dog breeders. Quick side note, I don't know what the deal is with dogs or Republicans, but dogs are not safe around them. Yeah, I'm especially talking about South Dakota Governor Christie I murder my puppies for fun Noam. Anyway, Santos is also charged with 23 federal criminal charges, which include conspiracy, wire fraud, false statements, falsification of records, aggravated identity theft, and credit card fraud. So again, based on Santos' criminal past, I think it's safe to assume that none of the money that he makes on Cameo as Kitara is going to these organizations. And if they do, they're getting way less than 20%. I mean, they'll be lucky to even get $1.
It's your girl Kitara. You know, the he, him, that lady boy with the wig, George Santos pulled out of the closet after 18 years. I am stopping by because your friend, Glenn, hates you.
And now, in a desperate attempt to save face, Santos tweeted, as promised, donations to @Tunnel2Towers and @The Fellowship are in. Thank you to all who helped support these awesome organizations and had some fun at the same time at my expense. LOL. Be silly and have fun while doing good in the world. Well, that's rich coming from this guy. However, there's a little problem that I noticed. When Santos started, there were 67 videos available and they were priced at $350, but no one bid, so he dropped the price to $275. And since launching this Cameo page for Kitara Ravache, only 5 people ordered. Now, Santos did add screenshots to this tweet to prove that he donated, except he intentionally removed the most important part, the amount. Show me the money! Santos intentionally did that to say that he donated without having to show how little. George Santos is a liar who was never planning to give 20%, especially when he's not making as much as he thought he would. Santos is a vile person who has no morals or ethics and should not be taken at his word. I mean, do you remember when the rumors of Santos doing drag first came out? He repeatedly denied being a drag queen or even associating himself with drag queens. The most recent obsession from the media claiming that I am a drag queen or performed as a drag queen is categorically false. The media continues to make outrageous claims about my life while I'm working to deliver results. I will not be distracted nor fazed by this. Look, there is nothing wrong with doing drag or even associating yourself with the drag community. If that's who you are, then be your true self. Do your thing. But in case anyone has any doubts, a quick scan will prove that Kitara Ravache is actually George Santos. And shortly after denying it, Santos came out and said he only did it for a day when he was 18.
Not a drag queen in Brazil, guys. I was young and I had fun at a festival.
But no one should be surprised by Santos changing his story. I mean, this is the same guy who said he was Jew-ish.
You claim to be Jewish, but you're not Jewish.
I never claimed to be Jewish. I've always made a party favor joke.
You claim to be Jewish, half Jewish, a proud American Jew, a Latino Jew, and a non-observant Jew. They're all direct quotes from you.
So
but you're not. You're
Pierce,
a Catholic. Like me. I'm a Catholic.
Pierce, I've always made this as a party favor joke, and I've done it on stages.
Lee has served as an inspiration, as a friend, and as a leader for the Jewish folks in Congress and for all of us in this room by at one point being just 2 members. So now we're going to be 3. We've tripled it. We've almost tripled it there.
And also lied about his mother dying on 2 separate occasions. One of those times he said was on 9/11.
Yikes.
So after Santos was expelled from Congress, he no longer had the spotlight, and the only thing he could do was become a cam girl. Do Cameo videos.
We're back with former Congressman George Santos, who within 4 seconds of leaving office has found a new career on Cameo. What is that about?
Look, you know, it's funny. The idea came from a former Kevin McCarthy staffer. He reached out and says, George, you have such a large personality. The people love you. You should just open a Cameo. I'm like, what's a Cameo? So I looked into it. I'm like, oh, that's what that's called. The videos where people send you birthday wishes. I opened it.
Now, if George Santos does decide to make more Cameo videos as Kitara Ravache, then he might want to check out today's sponsor, Henson Shaving, for a close and clean shave. Everyone knows how annoying sheep razors are. The cuts, the irritation, and sometimes you get those little ingrown hairs. You know the ones I'm talking about. It's incredibly frustrating. And don't even get me started with subscription razors. I mean, the headaches that those can cause? That's why you gotta meet Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer that has made parts for the International Space Station and Mars rover, and now they are bringing precision engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades are like diving boards. The longer the board, the more wobble. The more wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes. A bad shave isn't a blade problem, it's an extension problem. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of a human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave. It gets better. The razor has built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. Seriously, Henson Shaving wants to be the best razor, not the best razor business. That means no plastic, no subscriptions, no proprietary blades, and no planned obsolescence. The Henson razor works with the standard dual-edge blades to give you that old-school shave with the benefits of new-school tech. Once you own a Henson razor, it's only about $3 to $5 per year to replace the blades. My first shave with Henson was incredibly smooth and refreshing. The design is sleek and the durability is top-notch. The Henson razor is truly so much better than your run-of-the-mill quote-unquote traditional razor brand. And the affordability factor is absolutely game-changing. No more wasting your money on expensive blades. With Henson Shaving, you get a year of blades for $5. It's time to say no to subscriptions and yes to a razor that'll last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/Gabe to pick the razor for you and use code GABE and you'll get 2 years worth of blades free with your razor. Just make sure to add them to your cart. That's 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/Gabe and use code GABE. However, over the last few months, he has continued to drop his price because fewer and fewer people were buying them. But one person did occasionally buy them, Jimmy Kimmel.
Disgraced former Congressman George Santos, who has a new gig, making videos on Cameo for $400 a pop, which is a dilemma because on one hand, you hate to give money to a guy like George Santos, but on the other, pretty good chance he has your credit card information already. I didn't say they're from me. I just wrote them and sent them to find out, will Santos say it, okay? So, George, please congratulate my mom, Brenda, on the successful cloning of her beloved schnauzer, Adolf. She and Dr. Houndschnaufer went through a lot of dogs in the trial runs, but they finally got it to stick. Tell her to give Adolf a big belly rub for me. Will Santos say it?
Of course he will.
And, I wanted to congratulate you on successfully cloning your beloved Schnauzer Adolf. I know it was a lot of trials and tribulations, but you finally did it. Now you get to enjoy Adolf and be happy. So give him a belly rub for me. Mwah.
And now Santos is suing Kimmel for $750,000 for supposedly tricking him into making videos to ridicule him.
Did anyone else get sued by George Santos this weekend? I am currently embroiled in what may be the most preposterous lawsuit of all time. George Santos, a man Republicans kicked out of Congress for being a fraud, is suing me for fraud. And if there's one thing George Santos will not stand for, it's using a fake name under false pretenses.
The Cameo app is pretty simple. When a creator gets a request, they can either accept it or reject it, which means that Santos was not forced to make every cameo. He could reject them at any time. Santos willingly chose to complete every last request that was sent because that's who he is, a narcissist who was in debt and owes a lot of people money. And to add insult to injury, Santos said he would make a comeback to Congress in 2024. During President Biden's State of the Union, Santos made his announcement via tweet as if to take away from Biden's speech. Tonight, I want to announce that I will be returning to the arena of politics and challenging Nick for the battle over #NY1. I mean, just give up already. It's
pathetic.
It's so pathetic.
Well, guess what? In less than 3 months, Santos ended his independent campaign for a seat in Congress. I have decided to withdraw from my independent run for #NY1. 1. But Santos dropping out of the race might have also had to do with the fact that he had 0 donors, raised $0, and there had been $0 spent. Again, the only reason that Santos is resorting to doing cameos as Kitara Ravache is because he doesn't have any money and he desperately needs the attention. And again, considering Santos' criminal past, the 20% that he claims is going to these charities is probably going to himself. George Santos is a liar and a thief, which makes him the perfect role model for the GOP. And hey, if Cameo doesn't work out, I guess he could always do OnlyFans.
Speaking of peel, is it true that you have an OnlyFans page and you can peel a banana with your feet?
I don't have one, and it's, you know, I'll indulge you this. I just discovered what OnlyFans was about 3 weeks ago when it was brought up in a discussion in my office.
What do you think?
And I was oblivious to the whole concept.
You just can't tell the truth.
Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. What Was That is made possible by viewers like you. And if you'd like to support the show and get access to other content, you can contribute to my personal Patreon at patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. Thank you. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?